It amazes me the lengths that people will go in order to push an agenda or push a narrative or to, in this case, get a vote. Now, I would have not come across this had it not been for social media via Twitter. Like I said, you'll be amazed at some of the stories that I come across on that website that are either sent to me or I just happen to come across by chance. And I actually came across this because there's this doctor by the name of Stacey Patton that I follow on Twitter, and I've actually been following her for quite some time from Facebook. And she does put out some very good material. And she posted this up. Now, this is the actual official picture, but the one she posted up was actually on a billboard. Like one that looked like could have been taken with her phone, or maybe she found it for someone else and she put it on there. So there's this campaign going around where they'll put up these billboards of something that may have happened been controversial in order to push people to go vote. But this one right here really rubbed me the wrong than Trayvon Martin. They said Trayvon Martin would have been 23 years old, could have voted. Now, when everything went down with Trayvon Martin back in 2012 with that beast demon down in Florida who unfortunately is still breathing, I don't know what it's going to take for him to stop, but I'm not really focused on him. A lot of people, even some of those who probably are running in these elections right now, as I call them, politicians, probably had some of the most nasty and degrading things to say, not only about Trayvon Martin, but about his family as a whole. Now they're using his memory to try and push black people to go vote. This is a push to get black people to go vote. Now, thankfully, I listen to people like Professor Black Truth and Jason Black who give and list reasons as to why black people should not vote. And they go in each and every time when that topic is made into a discussion, and it all makes sense. If you have a thing where you are voting just to vote, and shout out to Chris Miller, also known as Black Opinion, because he actually did a video about this too. Black people have a tendency to vote just to vote. Or you'll have other black people that'll shame other black people into voting and using the same tactics of, oh, our ancestors died to vote, you'll be disrespecting your ancestors. Sort of like what Oprah is doing right now, which I think is silly. She's going around telling people or black people that we'll be disrespecting our ancestors' legacy by not voting. It's all shaming language. Like, that's not how you get people to vote. The way you get people to vote is you have to listen to the politician. You have to set up an agenda for yourself, and they need to meet your demands. Remember, you are the one that's voting them into those positions. But of course, because the black community as a collective lacks the funds to really push for their own candidate, we can't really trust a lot of these politicians, even if they are black. Look at what happened with our former president. I know a lot of people uphold him to this very high esteem standard, and it's only because of image purposes. But when you really break it down, was he really that good of a president? Now, we know Trump is an idiot. We all know. He knows this, but he plays it off well as if he isn't. But our former president, and it took me a while to really grasp this, didn't really do anything for us. He did everything for every other community except us. We got the crumbs. When you don't put money into your candidate, they're not going to serve you. And I was reading through the comments that someone had posted, and someone made a very excellent point, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before. They said for black people to be the so-called 13% of the population, they sure love to push this voting thing onto us, so I don't think we're really 13%. And to be honest, I don't think so either. I think we're more than 13%. Or we're that percentage that they need to push them over the edge. Because I think they're starting to know that in this age of information and the internet and advanced technology, that black people are finally waking up to the bullshit that a lot of these politicians try to use. This right here on your screen be an example of that. How dare you use a dead boy's image that you talked crass shit about for years and still do to try and push black people to go vote? If it's one thing, if it's one person that black people have a soft spot for or a sore spot for, it's definitely Trayvon Martin, because that definitely really shaped or changed how the black community was seen in the 21st century. This really was like our 21st century version of Emmett Till for us. Not as brutal, but you get what I'm saying. It had the same concept, the same meaning. And from then on, it's been nothing but a trickle down effect ever since. So what they gonna do? They're gonna use Mike Brown's name next. They're gonna use John Crawford, Rekia Boyd, anyone who would have been over the age of 21 or over the age of 18 who was eligible to vote. They're gonna use their image next. Like, this absolutely disturbs me that they'll use this boy's image to try and push black people to go vote. If black people want to go vote, they can go vote. I'm not going to sit here and say don't go vote. I'm going to ask you, why did you vote, or who, like, the person that you vote for? Are they pushing a narrative for you, or are you just voting because your family told you to and they said they will disown you if you don't, or because Oprah said you will be disrespecting your ancestors' legacy? It's all shaming language. And that's very sad that you have black people shaming other black people for not doing what they want or not voting the way that they want you to vote. That's another way for people to get turned off from voting. Is if you try to push them to vote for someone you don't even like, or voting for someone just because they're black. I have not seen celebrities do a big campaign like this since the whole vote or die thing back with Bush and I think it was Bush and was it John Kerry? I think back in 2004. I think that's what it was. But see, I didn't really. The reason why I didn't say Obama is because his was self-explanatory. They didn't need a big celebrity push for him because of his image. His image was his only push. But when it came to that, that's why the whole vote or die thing that Diddy did, even today, Diddy, not today literally, but in recent time, Diddy came out and said he regretted doing the whole vote or die campaign because he eventually saw that it wasn't worth it. But yeah, I don't agree with this billboard at all. To be honest, I think they came out with some more of them, and while I'm not talking about them, I don't agree with the other ones either because now they're trying to cater to the community. And you notice what I'm noticing is the billboards that I saw, because there were some other ones. They're catering to communities who are non-white. Basically, the communities that constantly get shitted on, but I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about us. We constantly get shitted on, and you want us to vote for whoever just to continue to get shitted on? What they want to do is vote in these people because they look like us and not because of their policy. They're doing it because they're scared. As a matter of fact, when I get ready to go to the gym, every day there's a sign, one of those lawn signs, and I see posted. It says, vote Democrat, or you got to get rid of the Republicans, vote Democrat, and something like that. I said, why should I vote? Like, you're not telling me why. You actually are telling me why on the sign. You're telling me to vote Democrat so we can get the Republicans out. Now, I'm not either on either side, but the fact of the matter is, you want me to vote for one side without reasoning to get rid of another or get another side out. I could be voting in the damn court jester, all because you want me to get another evil out, and I could be voting another evil in. I kid you not, that's the sign that I see. If it wasn't sitting on the side of the road, I would take a picture of it and post it up in the community tab so y'all can see exactly what sign I'm talking about. And I pass it every day, but it's the fact that is that's on the side of the road, and I can't just stop, get out of my car, take a picture, and get in and keep driving. It's one of those roads where you have to keep on driving. Stuff like that turns people off from voting. So unless black people have an agenda in place, I can see why people would say don't vote. Because at the end of the day, they're still not going to do anything for us. It's just symbolism, imagery, and a lot of hot air being blown. And I remember a few months ago, maybe it was last year, when I think I did a video about white people loving symbols. To be quite honest, black people love symbols just as much. They will vote in something symbolic, and it can be turning out to be something that it wasn't. But y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. The links will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one. And one more thing. This shows that even in death, that they'll still use our image. Even when they hate our guts.